there, welcome back to Creatively Crafted Life. My name is Melanie, and today I am going to be playing with some glitter paste, and I think I'm going to be making a bunch of panels, and I'm going to share with you how I'm approaching this. So I recently did a Smash Your Stash video where I pre-made a bunch of backgrounds that I could use for scrapbooking layouts, and I really like the idea of having them pre-made. I know myself, and I know in the moment I'm not likely to go and pull out a whole bunch of mixed media, especially because of the dry time, etc. So I think the plan is to just make a bunch of panels for cards that I can have ready to go, just like another supply. So what do I have in front of me to help me with this? Obviously I've got the glitter paste. Got to use it up, right? If you saw my recent, little mini public service announcement, it really reinforced the idea that I need to use some of this stuff up. I also have on the left my bin full of pre-cut panels, and I'm going to try and focus on the ones that are like a full card panel size, so 4 by 5 1/4 or 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'm thinking I'm going to try and do mostly tone on tone, I think, because it's glitter. So we'll see how this goes. I also have some food trays and some plastic folders, I guess that's what you would call these. And the thought with this is that as I complete the projects or the panels, I will add them onto the trays so that I can put them aside for drying. And I had recently taken a mixed media class, and she uses, or the lady that was instructing uses, these folders to hold it. They're plastic, which means it's more likely to be able to scrape stuff off if you've got any extra. And they're not like, they're not as hard as, of course, a tray, but it's enough that I could put a couple pieces of cardstock on here and be able to transport this somewhere, probably on the floor, to dry a little bit safely. So that's what I have for finished products or finished panels. And also to the right is I have a glass tray, just happens to be glass, could be whatever you have, of soapy water, because I don't want to have to go to the sink every time I'm finished with a stencil, and that's what would end up happening because my plan is to use a bunch of different stencils, not just one. Besides, unless you're repeating the color, you're not going to use it from one to the next. I also have pulled out a bunch of stencils from my supplies. These are ones that I've classified as backgrounds, and I think that's basically it. Okay, so I'm going to put this on fast forward to music because I don't think I'm going to have much to say about this. If I do, I'll stop, right? Anyways, here we go. Let's get started. Okay, I have no idea if this is going to work, but we're going to try this. So I've taped my stencil up at the top, and I've folded over or rounded over a piece of washi tape to hold the card panel in place. At least that's the thought process. Let's line this up. We'll give it a try. Anything to make it go somewhat easier, right? Okay, so this next stencil is a Felicity Jane one, and it's not quite a card panel size, but that's okay. We'll just trim it down, or if I get a nice coverage on the edge, maybe we'll leave it. I don't know. We'll see. I'm doing this one on red. I don't know if you noticed in the last one I tried to switch the colors up a little bit. I don't know if I have as much variation here as I do last time. Well, I guess I got a couple different reds, so we'll give those a try. Probably not going to do all of them. 3 or 4 seems to be a good mix, I think. I don't want to have tons of stuff created. Okay, so let's see how this one goes. Okay, the next stencil I am using is Text Manuscript from Carabelle. I don't know if I mentioned the first one was a Hero Arts. Glorious Petal it was called. Okay, we're going to do this one with a navy blue, and I've got 4 different shades of blue cardstock, so let's see how these turn out. Okay, so for this one I'm using a Close to My Heart stencil, which it's a different kind of stencil plastic that they use, so it's not laying quite as flat as I would like. So we'll see how this goes. And I'm going to use the Ruby Red from the Bow Bunny, which is a little more pinky than the Nouveau one. So I picked a more pinky red kind of cardstock to go with this. Again, trying to keep in mind that tone on tone kind of look. So let's see how this plays out. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. There is some bleed through because it doesn't lie flat. I don't know if you can see that up here on the top and down here on the bottom. That's fine. I can always trim this down to a smaller panel, but it's a little bit disappointing. I don't think I'm going to do any more with this particular stencil, so let's swap it out for another one. I swapped it out for an Ali Edwards stencil. Now this stencil also is similar to the Close to My Heart ones, but this one is lying flat, and it's like a harder plastic. I don't know if that even makes any sense. It's just different than the regular 6x6 stencils I'm used to using. So anyways, let's see how this works. This stencil is not quite the same size as my card panel, and that is okay. We'll just trim it down. If you guys watched my recent video where I talked about how some of my craft supplies, namely my paste, had dried up, one of the ones that I said I wouldn't buy again in the future was Bow Bunny, and this happens to be one of them. And I actually, this is the only Bow Bunny one I have left, and it is drying up. I can feel it as I'm using it, so I am going to actually just go ahead here and use this up, because I don't think it's gonna last. I don't think it's gonna last if you know, if it takes me a couple of months before I use it again or whatever. Okay, just a little bit of seepage, not as bad as the other one, but this is definitely as good as it's gonna get. It's pretty gummy, so we're gonna consider that one done. And let's get this in the water, soaking before it hardens too much. And I need to go clean my fingers before we continue any further. Okay, this is a Tonic Studio stencil called Linking Rings. I'm going to a turquoise. Okay, so I think I do have enough for one more. I made actually, I think, 3 extra panels. But let's try switching it up. Instead of doing tone on tone, let's switch it up with a yellow. And if this doesn't work, or I run out of paste, it's not the end of the world. But because I don't know if I have enough, I'm going to start more in the middle. And that way, if I run out, it'll look deliberate, maybe. I think this is going to do it, you guys. Scraping the bottom of the barrel. Okay, I'm going to use this leaf for stem print from Close to My Heart. We'll try this one. This one is not as warped as the other one. I'm going to use this green paste and try for 4. This jar is more full than the others, so I don't think we'll do more than 4. Oh, maybe not. I don't think this is very good. Interesting. Okay, I think it gets better. Maybe, maybe not. Nope, you guys, I think this is a dud. See how crumbly it is? It looked like it was moist enough, but it really is just crumbly. I wonder, let me see if I can add some water to it. Maybe? Experiment, right? Let's see if this works. I probably wouldn't recommend you do this if you were going to put the jar back in your stash. I would think you would want to use, like, I don't know, something else that wouldn't potentially grow mold. Because I think that's, if you introduce water in, there's a chance of that. I don't know. Has anyone had any experience with that? I might be just creating a big mess. I don't know. We'll see. It definitely does not look like the original glitter. Probably be easier to mix it on the mat, but I'm afraid of creating even a bigger mess on the mat than I already have. Okay, I think it's spreadable now. The question is, what will it look like when it's on the card front and dried? Who knows? So let's give this a try. Nothing to lose at this point, right? Well, other than the fact that I didn't put the cardstock on very straight, I mean, it looks promising, so we'll see. We'll see. We've got a few more panels here, so let's try. It's definitely wetter than the regular paste is, meaning the cardstock is definitely seeing the impacts of the water. It's a little bit more warped than the other paste. But let me just clean this up here first, and we'll get working on the rest of these. Might as well. Definitely has a creamy texture to it that's different than the other ones, but we'll see. Okay, I think we're gonna get one more out of this jar, and then we will call it quits. And let's hope this turn out. I think they will. I think they will. The only thing would be is if the water does something to the cardstock. Okay, they're all dry. That actually did not take too long because they're pretty thin coats, so they dried pretty quickly. Before I get started, look at, I actually have a blank spot in my card panels. So that was awesome, using up a bunch of these. So let me just flip through these really quickly so you can see how they turned out, and then maybe we'll make a card or two, some simple cards. So again, I kind of kept with the tone on tone, right? But it's amazing how different the pattern looks depending on the background. This one here is really hard to see. I'm going to tilt it in the light, you can see it a little bit better. There you go. This was that half scoop panel. This was on really thin paper that I had previously pre-cut with a scalloped edge. I'll go through these pretty quick because these are roughly the same colors. This was the one from Close to My Heart where it kind of glooped. So I'll probably trim this one down, probably into like a rectangle. And then we've got the different strips. A little bit of splooging there. Again, some of these are going to have to be trimmed down anyways, so not a big deal. These are the green ones where the paste was dying, and I did get some inconsistent application, but because they're on leaves, actually you guys, it just looks like I've got some variation in the leaf color, and I'm okay with that. Again, it's just interesting how different they look on the different backgrounds. Darker ones. This is the only one where I did not do the tone on tone. I really like this stencil. I think it's a lot of fun. But I do actually think I prefer the tone on tone. Otherwise, I think it's just a little bit too much. So this is a lighter color. This is closer to the actual glitter. I have a few panels of those. I think this one's probably my favorite. I like the lighter base and the darker glitter. Although that one's pretty nice too. Okay, so what to do with these? Something like this that is pretty ornate in and of itself. I don't think I want to cover up a lot of this, so I'm thinking either like a circle piece or a piece off to the side, or maybe just a strip of vellum with a sentiment on. I'm also not sure what color of sentiment to add on here, so I need to think about that. For ones that are like this, obviously you could do the same, but I think these are easier to cut down into half-size panels, so like almost a 3x4 size, and then that will allow you to do a focal point and a sentiment without it being overwhelming, but we'll play around with that. I'm thinking things like the strip, for instance, would be a really good one to cut in half, or maybe do like a washi tape border to separate it. I think I have some ideas, and I don't know that I'm going to do all, well, I'm definitely not going to make cards for all of these, but maybe a couple. So let me also pull out my die cut sticker binders, because I think we can look at some options of things that might work before we get to making. Okay, I pulled out my purple binder, and let's just see if there is anything in here that jumps out. I could definitely do an oval like this as part of the center. See how that would look? I think that would actually look quite nice. This would be a great way if I had anything that was kind of mucked up to cover. Now, I don't care for this. To make a long story short, I would have to cover that with something else, but that's an option. I've got this little butterfly here, so if I wanted to carry on the tone on tone, I could add it on that one. This Just a Note, I think, actually would look really good on this one, and maybe just with some dimensional on it. The only thing is this is starting to get to be quite, like, it almost disappears, so maybe a strip of vellum behind it, and I quite like that, and I like the sentiment, so I'm going to keep that one out for now. I've got some of these roses that might be also quite fun, so if we were to pull these off, you know, we could do maybe like a cluster, and then a sentiment, maybe tuck in a few leaves, or maybe on the lighter colored one. All of these would work. Let me just put those back. Not sold on that one, but it would work. Oh, I like this heart, and I think that would look really good on that one. I'll show you what it looks like. I think with the white background, the ornateness of this, I think that looks quite good. I could also put it off to the side, but I'm kind of liking it in the center. So let's leave that one there. I have this butterfly as well that looks like it would match. Probably not that one, maybe this one. So maybe we do Just a Note with a butterfly. I'm kind of liking that, so we'll put those there. I also have this die cut that's kind of got like a tropical feel to it. This might work well, maybe coming, I don't know, not sold on that one. Gotta try it though. Could do these feathers, that would be an option as well. Let's see, what else do we got? These butterflies might be kind of cute. Again, I'm sticking kind of with that tone-on-tone look just for simplicity, I guess, because the card's so busy already. I think that's starting to take away from it a little bit. So let's put that back. What else do we got? This Joy. I don't know if you could see that. This is from Paige Evans. That would look kind of cool right there, and it almost fits perfectly within this design. The only thing I'm not thrilled about is the Joy, so we might have to find something else to put in there. We've got a bunch of flower options. This bird would be cute as well on this one, but I think I kind of like that Joy for this big butterfly. Lots of options available, I think. This would be something else that would be kind of cool. This is from Pink Fresh, and I'm thinking maybe, you know, you could just add that in the center. And maybe the butterfly? Huh. Potentials. Potentials. I may just do all of these and call them done. That was pretty quick. Just need some sentiments. I think I do like all of these. Let me pull them up so you guys can see them a little closer. So I'm thinking the butterfly and the just a note with maybe a vellum strip. I'm thinking this on some foam tape and then maybe like a sentiment across the middle. And I'm not sure on this one. I might hold off on this one. But having the circle and then the butterfly in the middle, not entirely convinced. And then this one here, again, I'd pop this up and replace the Joy with something else, which I would have to find. Okay, let's see if we can come up with anything for some of these other ones. For these red panels, I was thinking Christmas, and I do need to make some Christmas cards. So I'm thinking things like these Simple Stories Little People. I think those would be so cute. That one especially would be really cute. I do need to trim this down because I didn't adhere that or didn't glue it very well, but I do like that. What else do we got? What about this one with the kids? Do I like it with, not so much with that, but I think I like this design more vertical. That would be cute. Maybe we'll do a little boy. Which is great because I didn't know what I was going to use these for. So I think that's a good idea to use them up. I like this guy who's peeking out the side, but I don't know if that I would use it for this card. What about this one? That might be fun. Or what about this one? That might be too big. Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. Let's do this one. Okay, so we got those four. You know, I said I was only going to do a couple, and now watch, I'm going to do them all. But that's okay. That's when the creative bug hits, you got to go with it. I also have these red and pink ones, and I think some of these might work as well. So, Jingle All the Way. Now this is actually 2 pieces, but there's nothing that says we have to leave it as 2. I think that would be maybe. Or do we want to do it on a darker color? No, I don't like that. Not the right red. That's too bad. What about the little deer? That might be kind of cute. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so we can do that one. What else do we got here? This Santa might be cute. Is he going to be cute? He might be cute. I like that too. What about the little house? Oh look, this one's got pink. Maybe we can use this and cover this little sploogey thing Yeah, I kind of like it with the car. Okay. Okay, we're on a roll. We're on a roll. Do I like this? This is almost too much, but maybe if I cut it in half, so that means we would need a second one, a second piece for the other half. I don't see anything, but that's okay. That's okay. We can always, you know, have leftover bits. Nothing that says we can't do that. Paige Evans. These would make a really great option as well. Something like that. Yeah, I think that would work. Okay, we're gonna do that one. I don't want to use all my Paige Evans ones on this, so because I haven't actually played with that kit yet. Okay, and this is 49 in Market, which I don't think I would use. Okay, so one piece left over. That's not bad. We could we do something else? This kind of got that pinky background, huh? Yeah, I think we'll just leave that. That's okay. Now for these green ones, I was thinking because they are stems that I would use flowers. So I pulled out my floral binder. Let's see if anything jumps out at us. We could probably use the butterfly on one of these. Maybe this one. That might be kind of cute, but I'm thinking I want to go more flowers. We could do the roses. I don't remember who these were by. So kind of go like a real graphic look. That might be kind of fun. Or what about, we got some different greens here. So let's see if we can find a better fit for some of these. Is that too Christmassy? I don't know. Not sure about that one. What about, these were from Hobby Lobby. Kind of one of those things, sometimes you just know it when you see it, and other times it's like a real struggle. Okay, so I think part of the problem that I'm struggling with is I think this is too much. So I think what we would do is we would trim this down and maybe cut it back a little bit. That might be what I have to do. Maybe. That's the wrong green. You know, all the greens here, you'd think I'd have something that was a little more olivey. Whew, that's definitely the wrong green. These are really big. Not sure I would love that for a card, but that might be kind of cute. No, not loving it. No, I'm not loving it. In my mind, it was going to be something completely different, but I guess that wasn't the case. Okay, and then these are some acetate, which I don't think I want to use with these. So I think this one was a dud. Maybe this one. Or maybe just have to play with this a little bit. And cut them in half and see if I like that. I think that would be better, wouldn't it, if it was cut in half? Okay, so we may have to revisit this one with the flowers. Okay, but we are going for fast and easy. Oh, what are these? What are these? These are from Allie Edwards. Ooh, I think do I like that? Oh man, there's only one with the gold. Okay, I don't know. We'll revisit this one. We'll revisit this one. Let's look at the turquoise. Okay, let's stick these out, the different colors, so we know what we're working with. Okay, this cake might work. I don't know that I need the cake though. It looks kind of more like a wedding cake than a birthday cake. My bike might be kind of fun. Again, I probably would cut it in half. Yeah, let's put that one aside. I wouldn't use the bike for anything else, I don't think. This might be cute to say hi on. Again, probably would trim this down a little bit, but I do like that. What else can we see? That might be kind of fun to send to a crafty friend. Yeah, I like that too. What else do we got here? We could do the houses. I was thinking of this peacock. I think that might be kind of fun too. And again, maybe cut in half so he's sitting on top. But would that work better? I'll have to play with that. We'll keep both of these colors over here just in case. I also think this little cuckoo clock would be kind of fun. Maybe we could put that one on the yellow. Yeah. Okay, cool. I like that. What about the carousel horse? That might be fun. And again, when I go to make the cards, if they don't quite turn out the way that or if I don't like them, that's fine. I can always change my mind, right? I think this might be too blue. Yeah. What about something like this? Or is this too much? Which I don't mind that at all. And then maybe just pop like a happy birthday sentiment on. Okay. I like that too. Ooh, what about if we do something like, that might be too blue. Or maybe we can swap this. And then we could do something like that. Yeah. Okay, we only have one left. One left. Is there anything else that jumps out at me? You guys are probably seeing something and going, what about that one? That might be kind of fun too. Cool. I'm thrilled with that. So the only one that I didn't have much success with is the green, but that was because I was trying to go with floral. So let's maybe pull out the green binder and see if anything pops. Let's see what we got. And I'm just looking for anything that kind of is card worthy. This It's Your Birthday is good, but I don't think I have anything in that right kind of green. This typewriter might be, I actually don't mind that, but I don't know that I love it. So let's put it back. I think these are all the wrong green. Yeah, I don't like that. This one might be okay. Yeah, I'm not loving that either. Now this has potential. think I like that. Super easy card. I'm looking at this tag too. I quite like this tag, but do I have the right green for this? I don't know. It's not the right green. Okay, we got the little bird. He might be kind of cute, but I need something for him to sit on. So I'll keep him up here for now. Hopefully you can still see everything. Leaves. What about the succulent? It's got a lot of blue in it. I mean, you could make that work. I just think it's a little bit dark. And that's a little bit light. Not loving it. Oh boy. I don't think we're going to have much luck with the green. And I've got a lot of it. Some of it is just that, you know, it's my mood that I'm in. That's too dark. Too dark. I just picked the wrong green. I think I should have gone more of a like celery color. Probably would have been better. I think that might be kind of fun. Or should I put that on the darker one? Darker or lighter? Darker or lighter? Kind of like the... Okay, we're going to go with the darker. And I was just looking at this one here where it says, "You're pretty great, by the way." And that might be kind of fun for that one. Okay, so we're getting there. We're getting there. We just got to look at it a little bit closer, right? Just got to look at it a little bit differently. This would be cute. Probably, again, cut in half. And I also have this little windowsill, which might be kind of cute, cut in half. Okay, so we'll put those two together. Got a lot of this, because I like that sentiment, but I don't think that would work very well with these. But with this one, no, I'm not loving that. Not loving that together. Now, that might be kind of fun. Okay, we'll put that one down too. Again, don't know if I'm going to keep it or not. I may change my mind, but it's always good to have options. I think we're going to call this one It. Maybe hello? Okay, good enough to start. Let's get putting together. Okay, so I decided to assemble the cards off camera because they're pretty self-explanatory. They're not overly complicated cards, but I managed to make 26 of them. Super thrilled. I had a lot of fun with this, and I think here's the key for me. Having the panels already done in one shot, so kind of like this batch processing, I think works for me. So I also pulled out this tray here that I have of a bunch of pre-cut shapes to make things go a little bit faster. I have my card binder that had a bunch of sentiments printed, which I really want to expand on this in the coming year. It basically was just mixing and matching and making everything work, and I just had a lot of fun. So, oh, and of course I used the stickers from, or the dies and stickers from my die cut sticker binders, which I did show you. So that's pretty much how it went. I got card bases here, layering pieces here, and I just went to town. So let me show you what I made. So this one here, I just added a half circle. You're going to see this design a lot. I really, really like this design, especially when you have fun background papers, because this gives a lot of visual weight to, I don't know if that's the right word, but it gives a lot of real estate for the pretty background, but yet the focal point is still the focal point. I had some Felicity Jane tile puffy stickers that I just added a little high on the end, and I kept it, the rest of it, pretty simple. I didn't add any extra enamel dots or anything, because between the glitter and the it was enough. It wasn't always that way though. Sometimes I went a little bit crazy. So for this one here, I had this panel already pre-die cut, and so I just wanted this to have a little bit more weight. Again, a similar design, it's just instead of doing a circle, I used this kind of frame shape. I added a couple of the hearts. Sometimes I struggle with where to place them, so I don't know if I love this, but it works enough for me. I'm happy with it. Did not add a sentiment. It has the word love on here, but really this could be an any occasion type of card. This one was super simple. I just had the die cut. It had crafty something, I can't remember about crafty on there. Have a crafty day maybe. And I decided to just switch it out to have a nice day. And I think this would be a great card to send to a crafty friend. This is one of the ones where I cut back the panel a little bit to make it a little bit smaller. I had one of those circles already pre-die cut, added the little critters. I also had the sentiment. This was a speech bubble. I just trimmed off the tail of the speech bubble because it was pointing away, and added a few stickers, and this one's done. Also had this banner in the pre-cut images, and I thought I would just kind of make it look like he's suspended from the top of the card. After all, he is a carousel horse. And then use these puffy stickers just to kind of embellish it a little bit. These were what was it? I think these were from a Jen Hadfield paper that I had trimmed out in circles, and I didn't like the circle with this, so I just trimmed out the sentiment to the size that I needed, and we're calling that one done. Here's the peacock. This was from Maggie Holmes' collection. Here's one of those circles from the Jen Hadfield. I actually trimmed this off and added the other piece up at the top, a couple of enamel dots. Call that one finished. This one here, I added some gold washi tape because I guess I didn't have enough shine and sparkle. Added the bicycle, and this is a sentiment from Pink Fresh. They have these foiled sentiment packs that we received in a bunch of our classes. I think they also offer them for sale, and I thought that was a good fit for that upper corner. And again, I didn't think it needed anything else. These were a couple of die cuts from the same collection. I added a few enamel dots just to fill it out a little bit. You know, I could come back and, you know, add a personalized note here. I probably wouldn't. I probably would just leave it as is. And that one is also finished. This one I kept super simple. I just added the die cut and then one of those circles that I was telling you about from Jen Hadfield. And I really like how this one turned out. I think the simplicity of it is really pretty. So for this one, I did trim the panel down a little bit because it was slightly crooked. It still is a little bit crooked, but it is better than it was. On the inside, I added some gold washi tape and trimmed the one side panel down a little bit smaller so you can see that. That ties into the sentiment, which is also from Pink Fresh. This said the word joy. I don't usually use that as a common sentiment. I could have, but I think congrats is much more useful for me. Probably would use this as a birthday card. And I just love the way this die cut fit with the background pattern. I hope you guys can see the glitter pattern. Sometimes the overhead lights blow things out a little bit. This is another one that I kept super simple. I put this on like a light taupey gray color, and I had the circle, I had the heart die cut, and this is another one of those Jen Hadfield from her paper, just trimmed it down. Did not add anything else. I think that is enough. This was the banner that I added a white border around. I just hand fussy cut that, and then the butterfly, and that is it. For this one, I did trim the green panel down a little bit and added the fresh flower stand, and then I just found this, this is another Pink Fresh sentiment that says celebrating you, and I think this would be a great card to send to one of my friends that likes to garden. Kept this one super simple, just with the die cut. I did add a few little enamel hearts in the corner, and that is it. I because it's so monochromatic, I didn't want to really spoil that by adding anything else. Here's the little parrot. I have him sitting on the hello tag, added a couple enamel dots. This was also a die cut from the binder, as you guys saw when I pulled it out. And yeah, that one is it. Here's that same design again with a sticker. Yeah, this was a sticker. This is from Kaisercraft, I think, from a 6x6 paper pad that I had sitting in my card binder, and then I just added a few enamel dots. This is another one that I kept super simple. I'm pretty sure this is a Paige Evans chipboard. I did have a circle behind it just to kind of make this pop a little bit more. I like the contrast with the background, and then of course the greens are very similar. So I think this is another one that just is pretty as is. Okay, now we're going to move into the Christmas cards. I had a lot of fun with these. I played off the blue in the little fella here, and then I added some of these Pink Fresh, I don't know what they are, some sort of jewel, half jewel or half, I don't know what they are. I'm sure there's a word for them. This is also from a Pink Fresh foiled sentiment pack. I did put it underneath his feet so it grounds him, makes him look like he's actually walking on something instead of floating in the air. Don't always do that, but this case it worked out. This little girl I added on a blue background because of the blue baubles in the tree, and I matted it on a green. So this is a very colorful card for sure. Another sentiment that I tucked in at the bottom, and I thought these little bows were fun. So I added that too, to add one more color into the mix. Here's that same design again. This time I used green instead of white. Had another sentiment. Here's another one of those bows. And these are some Felicity Jane, like, they're not puffy. Well, I guess they are kind of puffy stickers. I thought they kind of look like snowflakes, but even if they weren't, you could just consider them like confetti. So that is that one. I added this one on a craft 5x7 card. And this is actually where the bows came into play because the proportions were a little bit off for the 5x7 card, so I added the bow at the bottom to play off the bow in the gift, and that's, seeing as I had the bows out, I might as well have added them to the other ones, right? I went a little happy with the hearts, but I thought because I used the sentiment joy in this case, I did use it, that fit, and I tried to position the joy so it looked like she was stepping up from the gifts onto the sentiment. So for this one, I used the insert of a frame die from Pink Fresh, left over from one of the classes, and sentiment, and then I thought I needed to tie in the black a little bit more. Obviously there was black in the tires, which is why I picked the black card base, but I found these XOXO stickers. I don't remember where they're from, so I thought that would be kind of cute, and then I added a little black heart where the person would be driving. This was a card panel that I had already made with a border on the bottom, so I didn't even have to do that. I think I will do more of these. Again, this comes back to this realization that I like to have things ready so that when I get down to actually creating, like assembly creating, I have everything done. I think that just works better for me. I also think that having stuff pre-done lends itself to when I'm really busy and I want to be crafty but I don't feel creative, I can work on these types of items and have them ready because this doesn't take as much creative juice, so to speak, as actually assembling a card. I found the full panel was too overwhelming for this one, so I just trimmed it down, have it in the background. I kind of wanted this to look like the house was sitting in snow, but it's not like, it's very loosely based on that idea, because obviously what would the red stripe represent? Another one of those Pink Fresh sentiments, just added that with some pop dot. And then I thought just to tie in a little bit more of those black and to finish things off, I added a little dashed line on either side of the panels. Here's the Santa one. Again, similar design we've seen before, only this time I moved it to the left instead of the right. The ho 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 was too good to pass up. And I also trimmed this one down a little bit. Again, it's just this actual stencil was thinner than a card base, and so I could have either centered it, or in this case I off-centered it, trimmed this down, and then added a washi tape on the inside. And I actually kind of like how this looks a little bit more peaked than round when you open it up. This one was super simple, just the card panel and Paige Evans die cut. I did add one little heart as the dot on the eye, and that's pretty much it. This one I had to put on a craft base given that this die cut was craft based. I thought those seam kind of snowflakey stars were really perfect given the imagery on the panel. And then I added a little red dot for his nose, and that was pretty much it. I didn't have to put a sentiment or anything on. Very simple. If you wanted to make this a little bit more polished, I probably would have matted, or probably should have matted this in like a dark brown, and that might have tied it in a little bit better. But to be honest, I was too lazy to go and pull some cardstock, so this is the way it turned out. And this big stack of cards is what I have completed for today. I do have some card panels left and a partially completed card. I know, hard to believe I still have panels left. So this was a card I started and I was playing around with it and I didn't quite like it. I think it needs something up here, probably another circle, and I just didn't know what. Maybe a button or something. I don't know. It's not my favorite card. I will finish it, but not my favorite. Okay, and for card panels, I have 1.5 of the blue. I have quite a few of the green, but remember I did use up all of the green glitter paste, so that's understandable. And 1.5 of the red, this one that kind of glooped all over the place, and 1 purple. These will go in my card kit so that I have them available for when I want to craft next time. So I think that is it for this mixed media adventure. I hope you find this inspiring, and I want to encourage you to pull out any mixed media paste gels that you have and perhaps try an approach like this. See if this works for you. Like I said, it was a really good fit for me. Obviously, I got 26 cards done and I wasn't even intending on making any cards. I really was just hoping to make some panels. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, and until next time, happy crafting.